starting in a comfortable seat. So finding your best posture today with your hips scooching back towards the back of the chair so that you can lean into the back support with your feet still on the floor or stacked up on some prop underneath your feet. Yeah. You could also, of course, bring a cushion under your seat to make your hips a little higher if you're taller, if your chair is a little too small for your body, or if that just feels better in your hips or your lower back. Sitting on something higher might be best for you. So resting and relaxing here, the hands can soften maybe on the thighs. Tucking your arms in close to the body, letting the elbows feel heavy as they rest under our shoulders. And then maybe just get a sense of the head feeling like it's a helium balloon floating up above the shoulders. Positioning your head in a way that gives you space and length through the sides of the neck, through the back of the neck, and as well through the front of the throat. So all sides of the neck are spacious and long. So feel free to either close your eyes or soften the gaze away from the screen, helping to shift your focus here into your body, sensing where your body meets the support of the floor through your feet, feeling the soft weight of your thighs resting into the chair, and feeling the weight of your hips settled into the seat. Notice where the back of your body rests into the support of the chair. And feel the position of your shoulders. Can they soften more away from the ears? Can you let them go? Resting them back and down. And then feel the softness of your face. So notice if you're holding on to any tension here around the eyes. Feel the corners of your eyes relax. Feel the eyelids smooth. Can you soften the bridge of your nose? And relax and widen across the forehead. And is there tension in your jaw? You can relax, allowing the lower jaw to soften away from the upper jaw slightly. Feeling the lips stay gently closed as the jaw relaxes. And then as we sit here, let's stay aware of the whole body, resting, while we become more conscious of the breath. And feel the movements of the breath coming in through the nose and flowing out through the nose. And feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest. And is there any more softness you can feel into your belly? Yeah, let the belly relax a little more, softening the belly to allow for the breath to flow a little deeper. So that with each inhale, you can feel the belly gently expand as your lungs fill. And then each exhale, feel the belly soften and settle back in, letting out the breath slowly, completely. So allowing the breath to move in an easy manner without push or force, no strain necessary. Just awareness, aware of the inhale, moving in, and aware of the exhale, moving out. Now, as we continue to feel the breath moving in and moving out, let's start to count the length of the inhale and count the natural length of your exhale. So just do that for yourself, counting the length of your inhale and counting the length of your exhale. So that count could be anywhere between maybe 2 and 6 for most people. We want to land somewhere between 4 and 8 potentially, but noticing the natural count for yourself. And if you found that one part of your breath, your inhale or your exhale, was shorter than the other, see if you can make it the same count as the other part. So if your exhale was a 2 and your inhale was a 3, a count of 3, let your exhale become a count of 3 as your inhale stays a count of 3. Whichever number that is for you. So your breath becomes even. Your exhale is just as long as your inhale, and vice versa. And once that count becomes easy for you, if you'd like, you could start to add one more count to each inhale and to each exhale. So if you started with a count of 3 for the inhale and the exhale, you move to a count of 4. And see if you can continue to notice a little bit of a pause between each breath. If you end up getting dizzy, just let go of the counting and let the breath come back to its own rhythm. If you've reached a good count for yourself, stay with this count or make one more addition. So if you were at the count of 4 for the inhale and the exhale, maybe you start to move to a count of 5. Taking your time, allowing the breath to find a steady rhythm with as little strain or force as possible while we gently encourage the exhales to lengthen and the inhales to deepen. And then as you let go of that counting, just allow the breath to return to its own natural rhythm, natural pace. That's it. And then little by little, start to bring your attention back out into the space around you. Maybe first hearing the sounds around you. Maybe hearing the sound of your own breath. And then when you feel ready, let the eyes open. Move the head a little side to side as you scan your room with your eyes, turning your head in one direction gently, turning your head in the other direction gently. We can bring the head back to center and lower the chin towards the chest, looking down, and then lifting and lengthening through the back of the neck as we look up. I think we did these in the first class. So looking down, you might notice a stretch in the back of the neck and trying to maintain some of that length through the back of the neck as you look up. And maybe one more of those. Nice. All right, and then bringing the head back to center. Let's find a little side to side movement of the neck. Might as well. We've done all the other movements. So let's go right ear towards right shoulder. So we're still looking forward, just tipping the head a bit, and then back up through center and over to the left. So getting into each side of the neck, feeling free to linger into each side. If you notice a good stretch for yourself. And sometimes when we do these side bending movements in the neck, our shoulder ends up coming up towards the ear. So can we just let the shoulders relax and feel the head tipping down towards the shoulder? Doesn't have to go all the way down to it. Good. Last one over to the other side. And then back up to center. Nice. All right, let's move a little more to the front of the chair. So you may not need the support under your feet anymore. And I'm just going to start with a bit of I'll show you the side view for this. So as we come to the front of the seat, maybe coming to feel maybe a little more of our connection through our sitting bones now. If you wiggle your hips in your chair, you might be able to feel those bones resting into the seat a little better. And our feet somewhere under the knees, anywhere from hip distance, narrower or wider. So let's start with the hands resting here on our thighs. Let's go for a little cat-cow movement, flexing and extending our spine to begin with. So as we exhale, try to hug in and up through the belly, pushing the back towards the back of the chair as we round our spine. So we could look down, bring the chin towards the chest. And then as we slide our hands back, let that lift and lengthen through the front. Chest lifts, gaze may lift as the shoulders reach back and down. So we could slide our hands forward, keeping the back hugging up and in through the belly as we round through the spine. And then open up again through the front. Lengthen the belly, widen and lift the chest as the gaze lifts. So getting a nice stretch in the back as we round it, pulling in through the front. And then opening and lengthening into the front body now, arching through the spine. Rounded spine is cat tilt, cat stretch. Opening up through the front, finding some of that extension again. And feel that a couple more to the rhythm of your breath as we just loosen a little into our back. Nice. Last one. All right, and then let's see if we can find where our neutral spine is. So you might, feel where the sitting bones land, maybe tipping a little bit. Tailbone under you towards the knees, tailbone pushing back towards the back of the chair, finding out and feeling where center is as best you can. So the tail is neither curled under nor is it pushed back, somewhere in between. Yeah, and this way our ribs can stack above our hips, shoulders above the hips, head above the shoulders. Finding our strong neutral spine here. And then from there, let's go for a little sun salutation, a seated, simple sequence that we'll repeat a couple of different times. So we'll begin here with the hands together, feeling the spine stay tall in the center. Let's inhale and sweep the arms out, and just as high as feels comfortable for you. Hands could be in front of the face or above the head. And then with the exhale, let's go ahead and just take the arms wide out to the sides as we lean slightly forward. So when we do this lean forward, we're trying not to round our back. So we're lifting the chest towards the space in front of us, pushing a little more into our feet. Yeah, finding some of that support in the feet and the legs as the arms go wide. Let's feel the inhale here. And then with the exhale, we can fold forward. So we could rest forearms on thighs and release over the legs. We could slide the hands further down the legs if that feels comfortable in your back. And feel another breath there. Good. And then use the feet to help you come up, right? So pushing into your feet, sending the spine tall again. Let's lift the arms again to a comfortable height. And we'll take it over to the right. Let's bring the right arm down. Stretch a little more into this left side. That's it. And let's inhale back up through center. Exhale the left arm down so we can lengthen into the right side. So a little bit of a lean to the side. Breathing in, we'll bring it back up through center and take the hands down together. So that's one sequence. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, sweep out, stretch up. Exhale, arms wide as you come forward slightly. Push a little more into the feet. Feel like your chest is widening to the space in front of you as you maybe reach the arms a little further back. So we're finding a bit of strength right now into our back for one more breath. Then with the exhale, let's lower as far down as you feel comfortable going over the legs. Forearms could land on the thighs. Hands might slide past the knees. Where are you here? Feeling the breath moving. Good. And then again, pushing into your feet, coming back up. Arms lifting as high as you feel comfortable. And let's exhale, hands down together in front of the heart. Oh, I forgot the side bend. I did. Let's lift the arms up. We're here again, and we're going over to the left first. Yep. And then we're going to inhale, send the length up through the spine, and exhale over to the right. Really good. Inhale, lift again to center, and then exhale, hands down in front of the heart. So that's 2. So the next 2, let's find a twist in each direction instead of a side bend. So this is a nice way to just loosen up a little more into the whole upper body. So let's go for it. Inhale again, circle the arms up. Exhale, arms wide as we come forward. Push a little more into your feet as though you're about to stand up off your seat while the arms reach wide and back for one more inhale. Then with the exhale, fold it forward as far as feels comfortable here, allowing maybe the head to release forward, or if that doesn't feel good, if that gives you dizziness, just keep looking a little more in front of the feet. That's it. And then use your legs pushing into your feet as we come up again. Lifting the arms, let's keep them out to the sides this time. That's it. And we'll twist to the right. That's it. Reach out with the right arm, turning the head a little towards it. Very good. Inhale back to center, arms wide. Then on the exhale, let's twist to the other side, to the left. So the right hand can rest on your front leg and send the left arm to reach out to that back corner. Inhale back to center again, arms open. Exhale, hands together. One more of these. Feel the breath in, scooping the arms up as high as feels comfortable. Exhale, reach wide again as you fold forward. So go only as far as you go without rounding your back. pushing down into your feet, lift and widen across the chest for another inhale. And exhale, release. You got it. Relax and release as much as you like over the legs. You might feel the breath moving into your back a little more easily here. A nice stretch through the back body. Beautiful. Now push into your feet again to slowly make your way up, arms wide. This time twisting to the left for the first time. Right hand can rest on either leg, stretching the arm out to the side. Feel your inhale take you back to center, and let your exhale take you into the twist to the right. Left hand can rest on either of the legs as you send the reach out through the right hand. Good. Breathing in back to center. Exhale, hands together. Whew. And maybe just take a moment to rest. Rest one hand on your belly and the other on your chest if you like. Just to get a sense, just come back to feel your breath. Perhaps closing your eyes or just softening your gaze here. Checking in. Slowing everything down little by little, breath by breath. Coming back to breathing in and out through the nose. Okay. Releasing the hands, letting the eyes open. So yeah, as we move through these flowing sequences, when I'm asking you, giving you the suggestion of inhaling for one of the movements and exhaling for the other movement, we are trying to sort of match our movement with our breath. But of course, if you need to take more breaths, then go for it, of course, right? So if your breath's rhythm isn't exactly as mine is or as I'm teaching it, that is okay. Just trying to keep an awareness of the breath as you're moving and trying to also continue to breathe through your nose as much as possible. So noticing whether the breath is coming in and out through the mouth. And just doing your best to keep it through the nose. Calm and steady is how we're trying to keep the breath as we move with it. So let's go into a different sequence now. So last week we were working on finding a bit of that core support as we lift one leg at a time. So maybe let's just revisit that briefly here. Feel free to once again to rest the hands on the belly. Feel the shoulders relax as you sit tall. We could find that sh breath again to access some of that core strength if you like. Let the inhale come through the nose. And then shh, making that sh sound through the mouth just as long as it naturally goes. And then again, just one more time. Inhale through the nose, letting the belly soften a little. And then can you keep how your belly has become a little more taut, wide, as we lift one foot, push into the other foot. Lower that first foot, press into it as the other knee lifts. So noticing how much movement you have in each hip with as little movement as possible in the upper body. So belly, ribs, spine, shoulders stay fairly still. And if you're noticing, it's a little tricky to lift each leg, this is where you can come up onto more support, right? And start out with more of an angle at the hip so that you can more easily lift each knee. So just keep that in mind. You're welcome to do that for this next sequence, okay? So let's be back at the beginning here. We're gonna feel some more movements, same movements with our legs, but adding on with the upper body. So a bit of coordination this brings as well. So let's begin here again. Hands together in front of the heart, both feet on the floor. We're sitting forward towards the front of the chair. As you breathe in, let's sweep the arms out and up as high as feels comfortable. With the exhale, take the hands down together and let's raise the right knee as we bring our hands back in front of the chest. Good. Inhale, lower that foot. Sweep the arms up with both feet on the ground. And then as the hands come down, lift the left knee. That's it. So we try to feel the inhale when we lift the arms, feet on the ground. Feel the exhale, little support up and in through the belly to raise the knee or the foot, however much it goes. So find the rhythm to move with your breath. Could be faster than me, could be slower than me. You don't have to be fully in sync. That's it. Last one on the left side. Left knee lifting with the exhale, hands down through center. Then we're going to add on. So it's going to start the same way. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, slowly raising that right knee, hands in front. Then we're going to try to keep the leg up as we push through the heel, open up the arms, feel the inhale. As we exhale, let's take the hands back together, bend the knee again. And then inhale, feet down, lifting arms up. Exhale, hands come down, lift the left knee. Inhale, push through that left heel, open up the arms. Nice. Exhale, bend the knee, hands come back together. Inhale, feet to the ground, arms up. Let's do it again. Exhale the right knee up. If you'd rather just do the lower body, you can do that too. Pushing through the heel, breathing in. Exhale, bending the knee, hands together. Inhale, foot to the floor, arms up. Exhale, hands together, lifting the left knee. Inhale, push through the foot, arms wide. Exhale, hands together, bending the knee. Inhale, feet to the floor, arms up, and then let's just release forward. All that work, may have warmed you up a little bit, may have brought some increase into the heart rate. So let's take a moment to find a gentle stretch into the back. Forearms could rest on the thighs or hands could slide further down. And let's feel the breath here. Slower, steadier, little by little, slowing it down. All right. Let's push again into the feet. Slowly make your way back upright. Nice. Okay. And then let's practice a couple sit to stand movements. We're going to come to standing. So, where do you feel the support of your feet in order to come up? You might need to bring your feet a little wider. You might need to bring your feet further back. That's it. So you can push down into your feet, knees and toes pointing in the same direction. And let's start to find a little lean back and forward. Leaning back, leaning forward. When we lean forward, can you keep your gaze straight ahead? Can your chest stay wide open to the space in front of you rather than looking down towards the ground? So notice if that's the case. If you're looking down, see if you can look more forward. That's it. And each time, maybe you find a little bounce now. Pushing down into your feet as you lean forward to lift up. Yeah. And if you're able to slow down that bounce and find a little more control within it, go for it. So we get a little more strength into our legs. We're going to be working through some strength next week, but here's a little highlight. And then next time you lift, could you hover the hips off the chair and stay here for another breath? Maybe hands come together again in front of the heart. There you go. Push into the feet. Come on up to standing. Whew. Yeah, and I always like these hip sways. Just a nice way to just say thank you to those hips and legs, so you can keep the feet wide as you kind of push hips off to one side, over to the other. This could also become a bit of a circle. Yeah, you could try that out. Nice. That's it. And then feel those circles in the opposite direction a couple times. Lovely. Knees could be bent here or straight, finding out what feels good for you. Lovely. All right. And then coming back to standing. Let's use our chair. So we're going to use our chair for a little more of a standing sequence. We're going to start in what I call table pose, with where we sort of ended up in our last class, with our hands on the seat of the chair, bending forward from the hips. So I recommend that your chair is on a sticky mat, or it's pushed up against a heavier piece of furniture so that it doesn't go sliding around on you, okay? Or the wall, using the wall to have it against. And if you need to have a little something, a couple blocks or books on the seat of your chair in order to bring your hands more comfortably to the seat, feel free to find that for yourself, okay? So let's begin in this table pose position and just check out your feet. Have them pretty much right underneath your hips, and your hands under your shoulders or a little forward of your shoulders. If you find that your wrists find a little, it's a bit straining on the wrists, hands a bit forward reduces the angle on them rather than directly under the shoulder. So you can play around with that a bit, okay? So while we're here, keep a little softness in the knees, so the knees stay a little bent as we begin to move through cat and cow. So we did this sitting, and we'll do it like this now. As we exhale, let's hug up through the front of the belly, so we can curl our tailbone towards our heels, push a little more into our hands, and we're going to find a little more stretch, rounding into our back. Chin might lower more towards the chest. That's it. And then start to let the tailbone lift. So keep the knees bent a bit. Lift the tailbone up and open the chest towards the back of the chair, looking beyond the back of the chair now as you lift your head slightly. So each exhale, we're hugging up and in through the belly and rounding the back. Tail and forehead moving a bit towards each other. And then tail lifts away from the head. Head lifts, opening up the chest. So feel those movements. However much or however little movement is feeling good for you in your back, find it out for yourself. We like to think of our spine. It's a good analogy to think of the spine like a garden hose. And we don't want to bring a kink anywhere into our spine that is going to, prevent the flow of water coming through it. So we want to move our spine in a way where it feels spacious, where we're not bringing any kinks into our lower back or our neck. Yeah. So can you find that for yourself? One more time. Really nice. Okay, and then can we find our neutral spine? And our neutral spine in table pose, it's gonna feel like the tail, the tailbone, and the head are moving away from each other. So can the head stay up in line with the rest of the spine? The head is heavy, weighs a good 12 pounds at least. So it often wants to hang down with gravity. Gravity wants to pull our head towards the floor. So notice if that's the case for you. Lift it a bit. That's it. And can we keep that length through the spine as we walk our feet back little by little? As we walk our feet back, we push back through our hips, and we're going to find more movement into our shoulders. And now we're in downward dog. That's it. So yeah, you could keep your head. If you find that you get dizzy, you can keep your head up a little bit, so you might be looking more towards the hands, or you could look down more at the ground. But the idea is to try to feel hips reaching back, head reaching forward. That's it. So now you can choose to have the legs more straight or keep them more bent. You might feel some stretch into the backs of your legs. So let's pause in this downward dog and feel our breath. Let the inhale come in through the nose and let the exhale leave through the nose. Really nice. From our downward dog, let's step our right foot forward. And as we step our right foot forward, we're bringing ourselves into this lunge shape where we've got our front knee bent, our back leg pretty straight. You might notice a good stretch coming into that calf. So the heel might be up off the ground. If the calf is quite tight, that's okay. Okay. See if you can push into the hands a little bit and really feel the lift of your chest towards the back of your chair. There you go. Feel another breath in your lunge. And then when we exhale, let's take it back into downward dog. So we're going to push into our hands, step our right foot back. Hips are again reaching back right above the feet, head going forward to the hands. All right, and then let's step the left foot forward. Let's check in with this side. As our left foot comes forward, we feel our lunge on this side, pushing back and down through our right heel, bending a little more into that front knee, opening the chest to the back of the chair. Good. And then let's step it back. Left foot steps back. So we push the hips back in order to feel the strength and support through our hands pushing into the chair. Feeling another breath here. And then let's go ahead and walk our feet forward. So slowly walk the feet back till you're in this table shape. That's it. And then let's send more weight into the feet. Bring your hands maybe to your hips, pushing down into your feet to come back upright to standing. Really nice. So we just did a fair bit on the hands. We're going to do a little more. So just find a few circles into the wrists. Yeah. So you could do these circles with hands open or fists. That's it. Finding those circles in one direction and then the other direction. Great. Okay, so of course you're welcome to keep the blocks there on the chair. I'm going to take mine away. And let's find a sun salutation. So we're going to move a little more with the breath, similarly to how we just did, but we're going to put it into a sequence and repeat it 2 or 3 times. Okay? So standing back a little bit from your chair so that when you come forward, you can land into your table shape. Okay? Where the heels are under the hips and hands more or less under the shoulders. So let's begin again with our hands together in front of the heart. Feel the support of both feet underneath you. Feel your head nice and light to the sky above you. As you breathe in, let's circle our arms. Sweep them down, sweep them up as high as feels comfortable. Then as you exhale, let's take the hands down through center Hands can come to the chair. Maybe you release further forward for a moment. That's it. Maybe the head comes a little closer to the seat of the chair. It doesn't have to touch it or anything. And then let's inhale, come up into that table, straightening the arms, pushing more into our hands. That's it. And then we're going to step back, walk the feet back. The more you walk your feet back, the more you're asking your shoulders to move, right? So we're pushing forward and down into our hands to push our hips back. Head might be above the shoulders, might be between the arms. Feel what's working for you. From this downward dog shape, let's inhale the right foot forward into our lunge. Bending our right knee, pushing back into that left heel. Let's feel the inhale. And with the exhale, step back again. Right foot steps back, downward dog, pushing hips to the wall behind you a little more. That's it. Inhale, left foot steps forward, find the lunge. Pushing back strongly through that right leg. Nice. Feel the inhale. And as you exhale, step the left foot back, downward dog. And then we can walk our feet forward again. Table pose. As we exhale, you could choose to bend the elbows a little more and release through the spine further if that's feeling good for you. Then as you inhale, you can walk your hands up the legs, coming back upright. And let it go. All right. One more option I want to show you for downward dog is taking the hands to like the edges of the chair instead of having palms flat. You could also hold on to the edges of the chair in your table or in your downward dog, okay, or in your lunge. If that feels more stable or just better in your wrists, that's another option, okay? I forgot to mention. So let's do it again. This time we're going to lead with our left foot, okay? Same thing. Let's start here, hands in front of the heart. As we breathe in, let's circle the arms, sweep them down, and then up. Exhale as the hands come down through center. We can rest the hands on the chair. Maybe let the elbows bend and release further forward through the spine. And then inhale, come up to table. Strong, flat back. Then with the exhale, let's walk our feet back again. Downward dog. So we're pushing forward into our hands in order to reach our hips further back. Really nice. Let's feel a full breath here. Then when you're ready, let your inhale step that left foot forward, pushing back with the right heel. Open the chest. Let the inhale come. As you exhale, step left foot back, downward dog again. Feet are pretty much right under the hips. Let's inhale, right foot forward. Push back and down through the left heel. Nice. It's okay if that heel doesn't come all the way to the floor. The idea is to just give a nice stretch into that calf. Feel your breath in. And then again, as you exhale, come back into downward dog. Feel a full breath here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Good. Walking your feet in till you're in table pose. Hands under shoulders, feet under hips. And then release forward further if that feels good. Let the elbows bend. Let the head release forward. And then you can either walk your hands back up the legs coming up or sweep the arms out and up. Standing tall, ending here. Hands in front of heart again. Okay, so all of this up and down, right? It takes some getting used to, and it can produce a bit of lightheadedness sometimes as we're learning this practice. So just be mindful of that. And if that is happening for you, pause at any time. Or as you're going through it, keep the head held up a little bit, lifting the gaze more. Okay? All right, really good. Okay. So I think let's do one more with a slight variation. In our lunge, we're going to take it into a twist. Okay? So it's going to look exactly the same, except within the lunge, we're going to take it into a twist. So one more time, standing near the front of our chair. Hands together in front of the heart. When you're ready, let's feel the inhale, circle the arms out and up. Exhale as the hands come down through center. We're bending at our hips, and then if you like, bending a little more through the spine and head. Inhale, come up into that strong table pose. Long spine. We'll step back from there, feet stepping back to downward dog. That's it. Feel a full breath in and a full breath out. And then let's go ahead and step the right foot forward into a lunge. So as we're here in this lunge with our front knee bent, our back leg pretty strong and straight, let's take our right arm to sweep out and maybe a little back. Yeah, so you can also just take the hand to the hip if that feels better for you. We're turning our chest and our belly towards our right thigh, pushing a little bit more into our left hand. That's it. Feel another breath in. As we exhale, let's go ahead and take the hands back to the seat so we can step back again. Downward dog. Really nice. Pause in your downward dog. Feel a full inhale. Feel the exhale through the nose. And then step the left foot forward. That's it. Chest is wide to the back of the chair here. Pushing into our right hand as we take our left hand off the chair and twist to the left. Left arm might reach back or hand rests on that hip. Feel where you are as you breathe. Wonderful, everyone. Let's take it back, hands to the seat. Step back one last time into downward dog. That's it. So I often find I need to shift where my feet are when I step back. So feel free to do that for yourself. Wonderful. And then let's walk our feet back forward again towards the chair and to table. You got it. Feeling free to exhale and release the spine a little more. You could always bend the knees as well. And then use your feet, push down into your feet to help you come up to standing tall. Maybe the arms float up one last time and hands come down through center again. So take a moment to pause as you stand. And once again, just get a sense, right, of how the breath is moving after that sequence. Things might feel a little quicker, a little warmer. So taking a moment to find a sense of calm in the breath, in the body. Nice. All right, let's go ahead and come to have a seat again. So staying near the front of the chair, let's end with a bit of a hip stretch today. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple different options. Let's start out by lifting our right knee And maybe holding on to that knee with one or both hands, wherever makes sense to you. Could be under the thigh, could be around the knee or the calf or shin, I mean. Okay. And then just see if you can find a little of this movement, sort of up and down. That's it. Now, just noticing however much movement feels good. Doesn't have to go up high. So maybe you may be more lower like this. Okay. And then taking the knee a little out and in. So finding that out movement, in movement, swinging side to side. Yeah, and if you can, just maybe hold on with your right hand, you can start to find more of a circle now. So imagine you're drawing a circle with your knee to feel the movement back into your hip. So this circle could be quite small, could be large, could be fast or slow. Just noticing the tempo and the size of movement that feels good. Let's go in the other direction as well. Yeah, we're giving our hip a good workout right here because our legs are heavy. So holding them up away from the floor like this makes them work a little more. Okay, and then hold on to the knee with both hands again. And lift the knee up as high as feels comfortable for you. And then you can try to cross the ankle over that knee and then allow the knee to rest away from the body. So this is where you have options. If you can't quite get the ankle above the knee, lower the knee by straightening that leg a little more. Yeah. So as I straighten the leg, my knee gets lower. I'm asking my hip to do a little less. And I could even bring this foot below the knee to reduce the angle at the knee itself. Okay? So you can choose your version of this shape. And then feeling the spine sit up a little taller. Feel like you're being pulled to the sun. And then if you want more stretch, you can come forward. So you could hold on to your chair. As you come forward a bit, you could hold on, rest the hands on your front leg. And it's going to be different for each of us, how far forward feels good. Okay? So be where you are, sensing each breath, moving in, softening any grip you notice in your body as best you can. And enjoying a bit of a stretch here in that right hip, glute. You might feel it in the inner thigh a little bit. Just depends on where the tight spots are for you. That's it. All right, and then coming back upright. While we've got this leg here, let's circle into the ankle a few times. Drawing a circle with our toes. Lovely. And circling in the opposite direction as well. Nice. All right, let's bring that foot to the floor. Maybe separate the feet a little bit and find some of that movement of the knees opening and closing. I like to call this like a butterfly flutter. Out and in with the knees. Rolling in and out on the feet as well if you like. Great. Okay, and then let's check it out on the other side. So holding on to the left leg. You could even take like a belt or a scarf around the back of the thigh to hold on to the leg a little more easily so that you can find first a little bit of lifting and lowering of the leg, moving from the hip. That's it. And then taking the leg out to the side and in towards the center, moving the leg side to side, just nice and easy. Fluid and smooth. Trying to feel those movements gliding through the hip. Yeah, I like to feel like I'm leading with my knee, out and in. And then maybe finding more of a circle. Of course, holding on to that knee for more support so your hip doesn't have to cramp, work too hard. Finding the version that feels good for you. Circling in each direction. That's it. Okay, and then lift the knee up as high as feels comfortable on this hip so that you're able to cross the ankle over the opposite leg. So straightening out that right leg is going to lower the knee to make it a little more easy to cross the leg. You could bring the foot further down below the knee to have less of a bend in this left knee. And then wherever you are, lift a little taller up through your spine. I like to imagine a string on the navel, sort of pulling towards the top leg. That means there's going to be just a little less kind of rounding in the back. So rather than rounding forward, maybe keeping a little more length and space through the back as we're here, sensing our breath. How does this side feel? And there's often quite a difference from each hip. Between each hip, we use each leg so differently in our regular everyday life, right? One leg tends to carry our weight more easily than the other. One leg tends to be sort of our mover. One leg is our stabilizer. So that will affect how we use all the muscles up the leg. Very good. And then come on back upright and start to find a few circles into that ankle. Yep. Circling in each direction, nice and slow. Letting the toes dance around, letting them get involved. Great. All right. And then bringing both feet back to the floor. And again, maybe doing that little butterfly flutter. Knees out and in, loosening now into our hips. Great. Okay, and then coming back to our seat, maybe finding that support again if you'd like it, either under the feet or on the seat of the chair to lift you a little higher. Finding the chair's support as much as you like, settling and softening into it. So let's just come back to that soft stillness within the body, coming back to sensing our breath moving within. So closing your eyes or softening your gaze again away from the screen. And feeling where your arms rest to allow for your shoulders to settle away from the ears, maybe a little further back. And feel the head floating upwards, long and tall through the neck, while you let the weight of your hips and thighs settle into the seat a little more. And allow the breath to flow freely. Aware of the inhale as it moves in, expands your belly, fills your lungs. And aware of the exhale as it flows out. And just letting your breath find its own rhythm. So you're not dictating the rhythm, just letting it settle into an easy, effortless flow of breath coming and going through you. as your breath settles into that rhythm, just out of curiosity, count the natural length of your inhale and count the natural length of your exhale, and just note what that count is and if it's any different than when you started class today. You can let go of the counting and just allow the breath to flow again, easily, freely. And then to help re-energize yourself, start to gradually deepen the inhale. Feeling free to sigh out the exhale through the mouth, making any sound you like. Letting the eyes open when you feel ready. It's wonderful to practice with you all today. And with that more physical practice, do let me know how it felt for you. You might feel it a bit in like low back because we were stretching that area a little bit today. So just go easy on yourself. Have a little extra water. Hydrate those tissues. Thanks for being here. Namaste.